Or you want to say something? Okay.
Sorry, Chair, to disturb the process. I think it's important that I put this message, which I received now, into the record.
Yeah.
As I'm eating there, I received this message from Paul Sullivan.
Yeah.
Get ready, you lying crook. I am going to make sure you spend some years in prison. You were bribed by Mkhwanazi and Mabula. Now you will pay for your crimes, guaranteed.
Yeah. Okay.
Cedric Nkabinde, Chief of Staff to Suspended Police Minister Zinzo Mchunu, told Parliament's inquiry on Wednesday that he met controversial Northwest businessman Brown Mokgotsi only during a meeting he arranged at Mchunu's instruction. Nkabinde resumed his testimony before the inquiry probing explosive allegations made by KwaZulu-Natal Police Commissioner Lieutenant General Nhlanhla Mkhwanazi. The commissioner previously alleged questionable links between Mchunu and Mokgotsi, who has been described as ANC-aligned and politically connected. According to Nkabinde, the minister directed him on 24 August 2024 to arrange a visit to Stilfontein amid a crisis involving illegal mining. As part of the planning, Mchunu provided him with Mokgotsi's contact details and instructed him to bring Mokgotsi and local leaders together for a briefing ahead of his visit. A meeting was set for 28 October 2024 at Mchunu's official residence. Nkabinde said the engagement went ahead as planned, with Mokgotsi attending alongside 4 associates. He emphasized, however, that he didn't participate in the meeting itself, and said, I facilitated all logistical arrangements for the meeting, did not attend, and therefore I cannot confirm the discussions that took place. Nkabinde insisted that this was his first and only interaction with Mokgotsi. He said, after the October meeting, I have never seen Mr. Mokgotsi come to the minister or facilitated any further engagements. He also stated that Mokgotsi had not visited Mchunu's office at any point since. The Chief of Staff returned to the inquiry after his appearance last week was marred by inconsistencies between his affidavit and oral testimony. On Wednesday, he attributed the discrepancies to confusion over dates, saying he had since consulted Mchunu's personal assistant and reviewed the minister's calendar. He also revealed he had asked the police to grant him access to his electronic devices, which were seized during a search and seizure operation last month, but received no response. Addressing on key contradiction, Nkabinde clarified when he received a phone call from Mkhwanazi inquiring about Mokgotsi, and said, I can confirm that I received the call on 1 October 2024, not 30 September. This happened while I was accompanying the minister to Lesikisiki following a killing in the area. According to Nkabinde, Mkhwanazi had contacted him because Mokgotsi had called the commissioner, claiming to know Mchunu and referencing a complaint made to the Independent Police Investigative Directorate IPID. Nkabinde said he told General Mkhwanazi that he knew Mokgotsi and that the minister had met him, but denied describing him as a close associate. As Mkhwanazi previously alleged, Wednesday's session began with a tense exchange over the legitimacy and timing of Nkabinde's supplementary affidavit. EFF Member of Parliament Leanne Mattheys questioned why members of Parliament had not been notified of his return and raised concerns about whether the new statement was procedurally sound. She said, we need to know whether the witness will be prejudiced during this process. MK Party Member of Parliament Siboniso Nomvalo added that a supplementary affidavit should not duplicate the original statement, but should only address new information. Advocate Norman Arendse, the inquiry's chief evidence leader, defended the submission and said he has gone back to verify the dates and information, and he is entitled to provide that in supplementary form. Committee Chairperson Soviet Lekganyana said concerns about procedure could be dealt with in committee meetings, adding that the witnesses' presence indicated agreement between the legal teams and evidence leaders. Kabinde has also been taken to task for referring a complaint about National Police Commissioner Fane Masemola to the Investigating Directorate Against Corruption. Evidence leader said that Nkabinde's decision to refer the complaint against Masemola to IDEC was inappropriate because it led to arrest of Crime Intelligence boss Dumisani Khumalo. Kabinde was facing questions around his sworn statement before Parliament's ad hoc committee. Cedric told the ad hoc committee that the National Coloured Congress Member of Parliament, Fadiel Adams' complaint showed how he lost confidence in the National Commissioner. He said that reporting Masemola for nepotism and fraud to IDEC was the only option. But Arendse put it to Nkabinde that his referral was inappropriate and got Khumalo arrested, and said, "You will say, well, you referred it to the IDEC. They had to do their job and had to do the investigation, and they were the ones who arrested him and had him charged. But it started with your referral, which I want to submit to you in conclusion to be entirely inappropriate, and that's putting it mildly." Kabinde said IDEC considered the complaint, but they were not expecting any feedback because it reports to the Justice Minister.
Any official responsibility, right, at SAPS?
That was exactly what I was reporting. He was leading us, but from outside.
Did he ever, besides the influence that he had on the position that you applied for, notwithstanding that, notwithstanding that influence, did he ever have any influence in SAPS?
Not
Did he ever influence anything, despite what you have mentioned?
Not only in SAPS, he's running IPID, he's running SAPS, he's running NPA. You know what General Mkhwanazi is reporting about the state capture? This is a real state capture. Because even the docket, if the docket involves Paul O'Sullivan, there are two dockets are there lying dust in the NPA. In fact, it was even removed from a black prosecutor.
So did he ever, I'm trying to connect some dots.
When we talk about this thing, I become very emotional what is happening between me and Mkhwanazi. Because I was fighting this with him.
What's your take on this one, people? Thanks for watching. Please subscribe for more news.